Welcome back. Stasa23 here, back with some knife therapy. And today I have for you my Amazon Knife of the Month pick, the second one. If you haven't seen the video on this one, go check it out. I'll try to put a card up here on it. This is the Katsu knives, the G10 D2 model. It doesn't really have a particular name. And you can pick this up on Amazon for $76. Let's get some specs out of the way really quick. You have a total length of 7.9 inches, so it's in that medium to large range. You have a grip area of 4 1/8, thickness of 0.55, so a little bit above average, and closed width in the pocket from here to here of 1.09 inches and a stock thickness of 0.125. I enjoyed testing this one and this one. And if you want to see how this one did, you stay tuned and we'll go into testing footage. All right, we're going to test the factory sharpness. These knives came ridiculously sharp. See if they can hold it. All right, it sliced very well, especially in the beginning. It started to slow down some. It might have been my hand being tired, but we'll see. Yeah, it did lose some of its sharpness. It's got still sharp, but not as sharp. All right, we're gonna test the ergos and how well this knife's still biting on this pine 2x4. Doing some shaving. Alrighty, as you see, it did really well, especially with that convex grind. Only thing I noticed is when I was putting a lot of force behind the cut and holding it like in the hammer grip like this, same as the other one, this right here was aggravating pinky, but remedy that by holding it in the saber grip. All right, now we're gonna cut up some of this 1/2 inch twisted sisal rope. I'm gonna try to do 20 to 30 cuts. All right, I stopped at 20 cuts. I'm not sure if it's because I didn't have enough leverage with this almost Warncliffe blade shape right here. Let's see how it is in the front. Because it was struggling, my hands are tired too though. Yeah, it might have just been the angle I was trying to cut at. Hold on. Might have a snag. Seems good. All right, we're gonna cut up several different types of material. Some thick rubber gasket material, some thick saddle leather, some rolled up blue jean denim, 2 different size hose, dense hose. This is a vinyl with some webbing, and this is rubber with webbing, and some 3/8 inch bungee cord. Start with the leather. Wow, that's why I like that tip. All right, that one did okay. Definitely doesn't feel as sharp as it was for sure. And I know the cutting angle, being that Warney style blade, kind of messes up the leverage of my cuts. Let's see, does it have a hang up? Yeah, right up here in the tip area, feels like it has a minor hang up. All right, I'm gonna attempt to get through these 3 copper wires. Chopping through these 3 copper wires with this rubber mallet. Don't do this with your knife because it'll void your warranty. I do it so you don't have to. I don't know how well this one's gonna do, being that it has that straight blade on there. We'll give it a shot. Nice, love it when it goes through the first try. I didn't expect any damage with these convex grinds. It's usually a more robust to grind. Nope, no damage. I mean, it was already had some dull spots, so. All right, we're gonna do some edge impact testing on this round aluminum bar stock. I put a mark right here. We're gonna do 3 strikes just to see. This is some bro science. One, 2, and 3. I don't see anything, but let's see how it cuts. It's got some hang-ups, but I don't know if any of those weren't from before. I'd still call that a good working edge on there. You could definitely get some work done with that. Alrighty, I hope y'all enjoyed that cutting footage. I always enjoy doing it for y'all. The Katsu knives, in my opinion, this particular variation, it's an attractive knife. It has good fit and finish. I love that blade shape because I tend to use my tip for a lot of detail work. And if you didn't notice, whenever I was like cutting the leather and stuff like that, this thing really excelled in using that tip, doing dragging cuts like that. This one and its older brother right here, both of them came ridiculously sharp. Like probably the sharpest I've gotten a knife out of box. You know, on par with Spyderco, maybe even better. I didn't check on my best tester. I should have, but very, very sharp out of box. That's always a good thing. And blade finish is like a satin finish on here. You have a high convex grind. And like I said, on the original, on the one before this, I don't think I've ever owned a convex grind knife, or a folder at least. And what's cool about this blade shape, you can actually see how the convex grind, how it is. You can see how it like rounds. Instead of being like a perfect V, it's like a gradual taper all the way down to that tip. So it's not considered a full convex because a full convex, from the definition I was looking at, comes all the way from the top and then gradually tapers down to the final acute edge. Fine edge down here. Definitely different using that type of grind. I'm not used to it. Now, after using it, I still prefer my hollow grinds and my full flats. That's just me, and it's all going to depend on what you're using your knife for. The convex grind, if you're looking for a tough edge, whenever I chopped the copper wire and when I did the impact testing, it didn't phase the edge on this at all. Absolutely no damage. because you have more meat behind that edge, being that it's coming straight down and you don't have a secondary bevel creating your apex. And I mean, that's about, my knowledge of convex, like I said, because I don't tend to use them. If you sharpen on a belt grinder, you usually get a convex grind or like a slack belt, just because you got play right there and it's pushing it in like that, wrapping around. So that's something you can get on a work sharpener. Now, the only downside, I'm sure there's several, depending on which grind you like, but one downside of a convex grind, if you want to keep that convex grind, it's not the easiest thing to touch up, and it's definitely not going to be easy out in the field. The way I'm going to do it, I'll either put a micro bevel, like create a micro bevel on this knife, making it basically have a secondary bevel, or if I want to keep that convex, I could always use the corners of my Spyderco Sharp Maker, and you can sharpen them like that. Let's see. I noticed that, and I'm guessing it's the grind, both knives really, really excelled on the wood shaving. They wanted to chew up that wood like it was nothing. Now, it was pine, so, take that for what it is. But I think it did a pretty darn good job. This one, like the other one, is a front flipper. This one has really good action. The jimping catches your finger just enough. It's riding on phosphor bronze washers with, I think it's a thin Teflon in front of it. Blade centering is dead on. This one has no blade slop like this one did. This one has a little bit of blade slop. You can see how that blade kicks up like that. It doesn't affect the action, but something to note. Also has that decorative pivot. And just like on this one, I noticed whenever I was doing those pressure cuts into the wood that this jimping right here kind of gave me a hot spot. Only when I was really bearing down on it. Easy access to that lock bar, flow-through construction, stainless steel liner lock. The lock up solid on this particular one. No up and down, no side to side. Shadow boxed. And this is a contoured, I think a red-black G10 like mix. And if I'm going to get G10, I like this. It looks nice. You can see all the texture and the grain. It looks like it's like waving in there. I think it looks really nice. You can see it on the edges right there. Now, of the two, I prefer the carbon fiber. And while we're talking about that, of these two knives, which one, if I were to recommend one, which one would it be? It would have to be this one. The 154 cm on this one is stainless. It held up better. It stayed sharper longer. And I like the carbon fiber. Now, of the blade shapes, I prefer this one because I do this type of cutting more, and I think it's an attractive blade shape. So if this was 154, then it would be definitely no brainer. It just depends on which blade you like. The D2 didn't, I noticed that super sharpness died off right after the cardboard on here. Now, it remained with a nice working edge for the remainder of the test, but I found this one held up a lot better. Like I said, I like that carbon fiber just a little bit more. This one still looks nice. They're both very smooth to touch, so they could be a little slippery. And they both come with this very, very well-made leather sheath that has horizontal and vertical carry on it. Nice closure on there. And it's a little snug fit, but it starts to loosen up over time. And as well as this too. So, nitpicks, complaints. Of course, I wish it had a pocket clip. That bottom jimping is a little rough if you're doing pressure cuts. Convex grind, not the easiest to maintain. And the knife has no name. They need to name the knife, especially you can only find it, I think, on Amazon. I wouldn't know because I don't know what to call it. They call it the G10 D2, and they call this one the Carbon Fiber 154. So definitely be nice there naming the knives. And there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. If y'all want me to keep this series going, y'all just let me know down below. I enjoy doing it. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.